Let's talk about something incredibly serious. When an accusation of child or elder abuse leads to an arrest, the legal system moves with absolute lightning speed. Those first few hours are absolutely critical. So what exactly happens in that initial, high-stakes window? Let's break it down.
Imagine you get that phone call. A loved one's been arrested. Your world just stops. It's a moment of pure shock, of confusion. And all of a sudden, this is the only question that matters in the entire world. What happens now? In these situations, every single minute counts.
So the first thing that hits you is just pure shock. An accusation of abuse is so intensely emotional. But the thing is, the legal system, it doesn't wait for emotions to settle. It's designed to act first and ask questions later, and that creates an immediate crisis for everyone involved.
And these arrests, they can happen in the blink of an eye. Sometimes they come from a simple misunderstanding, a heated argument that got out of hand. But you know what? Regardless of the reason, the second that arrest is made, a critical clock starts ticking.
Okay, so emotions are off the charts, but the very next step is to get crystal clear on the specifics. You have to understand the exact charges, because that one little detail, well, it determines absolutely everything that comes next.
Now, in California, the charges usually fall under one of three main penal codes. You've got PC 273A for child endangerment, 273D for direct child abuse, and PC 368 for elder abuse. And the severity here can range dramatically. I mean, from a misdemeanor for neglect all the way to a serious felony if there's a chance of great bodily harm.
And right after the charge is set, bam, the next shockwave hits you, and this one's financial. Before you can even think about planning a defense, families are hit with the immediate and frankly overwhelming problem of bail.
$100,000. That's a really common bail amount for a felony charge in cases like these. I mean, for most families, a number like this is just staggering. It feels like an impossible amount of cash to have on hand. It's an immediate and seemingly insurmountable barrier.
So you might be wondering, where does a number like that even come from? Is it just pulled out of thin air? Well, no, it's actually not. Bail is set according to a county schedule, kind of like this example here. See the felony child endangerment charge, the one where injury is likely? Yep, there's our $100,000 figure. But look at the misdemeanor version. It's just $5,000. It all comes down to the perceived severity of the charge.
Okay, this leads us to something that's super important to understand, but also really confusing for a lot of people. It's the legal distinction between abuse and endangerment. They sound similar, but in the eyes of the law, they are not the same thing at all.
First up, let's talk child abuse. Under Penal Code 273D, the key phrases to latch onto are willfully inflicting and traumatic condition. What that really means is this is about intentional, direct physical harm that results in an actual injury, a bruise, a cut, something you can see.
Now compare that to child endangerment. This law is written to be intentionally broad. It covers putting a child in a situation where their health might be in danger. And here's the real kicker. No injury actually has to happen for an arrest to be made.
So let's boil it all down. This is the core difference. Endangerment is all about creating a risk. Think of it as neglect or leaving a child in an unsafe situation. Abuse, on the other hand, is about causing actual, direct harm. Understanding this distinction is absolutely fundamental to the case.
Okay, so we understand the charge, we see the terrifying bail amount. Now what? What's the practical game plan? That brings us to the bail process itself.
It's really a four-step path to get someone released. It all starts with booking, which is where the bail is officially set. Then comes the crucial next step, contacting a bail bond service to handle the money and secure the release. Finally, once they're out, the defendant absolutely must show up for all their scheduled court dates.
So how in the world do you handle a number like $100,000? Well, here's the thing. You don't pay the whole amount. Instead, you work with what's called a bail bonds company. You pay them a non-refundable fee, a premium, that's set at 10%. So for a $100,000 bail, that's $10,000. The company then posts the full amount with the court, and that guarantees the person will show up for their hearings.
And this all leads to the final and honestly the most critical point of all. Why is it so incredibly urgent to get that release secured? Well, the consequences of waiting are severe, and the benefits of moving fast are just immense.
Look, the most important thing to realize is this. Getting out of jail isn't just about comfort. It's about having a fighting chance to build a defense. Being out on bail means you can actually sit down with an attorney, you can start gathering evidence, and you can begin dealing with investigations from child services. It means you can keep your job,
protect your parental rights, and just reduce the devastating stress on your entire family.
When you get right down to it, it all boils down to this. In cases like these, where a reputation can be shattered by an accusation alone, every single moment counts. Each hour spent behind bars is an hour you can't get back, an hour lost in building a defense. Time truly is the most valuable thing you have.
And that really leaves us with one final, big question to think about. In a system where time is everything, where a crisis unfolds in minutes and hours, and where every delay can impact custody, a job, and the entire outcome of a case, what's the true price of waiting? It's not measured in dollars, but in lost opportunities and a weakened defense.